Hi there, it's Catherine again from Sunnyside Journals. Thanks for stopping by. I've got a book haul today, and I've also got a little visit. So give me a second while I sit down here. I had a lovely, lovely morning. I got to spend the morning with my daughter. I have a book sale that I've mentioned that I go to at up in Kirby, Ontario. It's a little old church. They don't hold services anymore in it, but they use it to they combined congregations with the town nearby, and so they use the church in the other town for their congregation and for their services, and they use this other older church. They hold a book sale, and if you visit my Instagram account, you'll see I did a little scan video of the interior of the top floor. There's 2 floors, and they accept donations for books, and they sell any book is $1. It's $1. So whether you buy a big massive book like this one that I'll get into, or whether you buy a teeny tiny little book, it's $1. It's a wonderful thing, and it's very easy to get lost in there, especially for book lovers. Anyhow, before I get into my book haul, I've been working on this baby here a bit more. Don't you love it when pages that you're working on, that you envision, come about? And I'm so happy with how, hold on, I want to make sure I'm in the screen. Yeah, see, I'm not in the screen. There we go. When it starts coming together the way you were really hoping it would come together. So this is, I've been calling it my happy home book. So, and I'm just loving how so far how it's coming together. This, as I've mentioned before, is from the front original interior page, but the paper would crack, so I couldn't use it as a page. I had to fortify it against another cardstock. But hold on, you come out of there. This is what I'm so happy with. I'm really, really happy with this tiny little, it's a piece of stationery, but I wanted to find a way to incorporate, this is a piece of artwork from Eloise Wilkin, that cute little book. What's it called again? Guess Who Lives Here? That's right. And this is a different style for her, a much simpler style, the artwork in this story. That's why at first I didn't recognize her. I'm going to try and fit this into it as well, because I love that picture. Very simple, easy flowing watercolors, rather than what we usually associate those intricate details for her work. This one's a little different, and I like it. I enjoy it. So I had to put that little window, and I added in some words from a different book. I believe that's from Little House on the Prairie, A Nice Little Home. But this is what I'm happy with, how it turned out. I made a sort of a page edge, and I just like the way it worked out, with some music from George and Ira Gershwin. And this is also from the interior of the original of this book. So I liked the way that worked out, and a little bit of lace, a little bit of kitchen-y looking material. Looks like something curtains might have been. A little bit of tiny rickrack. And that's just the little things that tickle us. But I'm not going to do a whole lot with the interior of this, simply because it would, I don't know how it's possible. There's 340 pages in this book. But I do have a few things planned. I have been working on, here, well, since we're having a little visit, I'll show you a few of the things I've been working on. It's girdle material. I'm gonna find a way to put that in somewhere. I found a little recipe card that's gonna go in it. I made a journaling card. I got some scrapbook paper. The other day I popped in. Yes, I'm completely off the no thrifting wagon. I'm off the wagon. I'm full into thrifting. Anyhow, I got like a stack this thick scrapbook paper at my by the pound store. And this was one of the sheets, so I cut them all up. It was a whole sheet of mason jars. So I cut them up to make little tags out of. I made another little journaling card out of a button thing. This piece of cardboard. I was trying out this stamp, and then I chucked it into my cast off, and then I saw it there and I thought, oh, I can use that. I mean, hello looks cute. And then I just worked with it. This is from the interior of the original book. And then same with this, where it says designs for fire screen and lamp bracket. And some more from the interior. This I added a little envelope that will go in. I have been working on a bingo card for journaling. I made a little guest check that's going to go in there too. And I backed it on some cardstock. I got this one too. It's just a little child smiling. And I thought, well, it's a photo, so it's sort of like a silent smile. I made a little tuck spot on an old card. I chose H because I figured happy home, H. This photo came out of an old Canadian Tire magazine from 1957, I believe. Same with this ad, was out of the Canadian Tire magazine. So I've made sort of a little tuck spot. I'm still not sure. Oh, come on. I'm trying to talk while I'm trying to do this. I'm still not sure whether I'm going to put this in with washi tape and have a flip out. It's going to go in somehow. A little bit of, you always need some money for a road trip, so that's going in. Second prize in a beauty contest going in. And this is from the game Life. I've never played Life in my life. Anyhow, that little house, because it's a happy home, is going in. This is one of those little tags from Life. So I punched a hole in it and put an eyelet in it, and it's going to go in it somewhere. And I always have to have something that's a little bit odd. So I got a toilet ad in there. This pipe here is from the original book, this bath waste pipe. So I embellished it a bit with an ad from a 1940s magazine. We're going to put in a bridge tally card. I've got another one somewhere but I want to age it a bit. This one's going to go in too because it's got fruit and sort of kitchen-y. Sort of reminds me of a bowl of fruit that would be in a elegant lady's 1940s kitchen. Then I'm going to put this tarot card in. It's the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands, when it's upright, so that's better. When the Four of Wands is upright, it represents community and home and celebration. So that's going to be going in. So that's a good start to go into this book. I'm going to make a few more. I'd like to have a few tuckies to put in here and there, but mostly leave this be because it's going to be such a beautiful big journal for somebody, and they really need to have the joy of filling this in. It's just, although I'm very, very much in love with it, I'm even more excited hoping that someone out there will equally be in love with this book. It has just, for a little book, not so little, that was in the burn pile for the book sale that I go to, that I'm going to go through some books that I got today. They do have some books that they will not try and resell. As I've mentioned before, they do have, they have a certain criteria, and there's some books that they won't. They're either just so falling apart, and this certainly was. It took a lot of rebuilding for me to get that back restored. So for a little book that was probably going to get burned last month, it's now going to have a lovely, lovely, lovely long life. All right, let me put that away. So I got to go to my book sale today, And my daughter came with me. We had a wonderful time. She got a few books as well too for her children. And anytime you can spend time with your children is wonderful. Now I'm putting things away. So in random order, I'm going to start going through them. This is one that I found. They always have a box full of books that's like this one, where they've taken the papers out because they can recycle the blue box and the blue box people. I'm having a brain cramp here. They'll take the papers, interiors of books, but they don't want the covers. So then they burn the covers. And so this had already been ripped apart. I couldn't find the insides for it, but I still liked that cover. I love the cover of it. Systematic Giving by Jarvis. So I'm going to have to look into that. I think that's Anna Jarvis. So, but I thought, I like the size of this. I love that cover. I'm going to enjoy giving this one new life. So that was free. They let me have those free. And I'm not sure why, but they let me have this one free. And it's not one that I necessarily would have purchased, but heck, it's free. I'll take it. I'll figure something to do with it. Born to Try. I think that's a beautiful cover. And it was from the Belleville Public Library. Belleville's a few hours down the road from me. So that one, let me see if I can see what year this is. Born to Trot. 1950. Boy, so that's before me. BC, before Catherine. There's some nice illustrations in it. I think maybe there are horse lovers out there. Maybe I should tackle making a horse journal. Anyhow, so this one was also free. I didn't have to pay $1 for that. Although I probably would have. I mean, what the heck. I found this one. I think I got this one just for the interior pages because it's got some really interesting pages. Keeping Livestock Healthy. And it's 1942 Yearbook of Agriculture from the United States Department of Agriculture. So it's just a fascinating book. It's just full of, it's got old photos. It's just talking about farming and livestock health and livestock diseases. It's just fascinating. I've already been reading through it. I put a bookmark here because this may have to go into my happy home one because I love this. Look at this. Warning, these premises quarantined for foot and mouth disease. Oh my. I like that. I'm not sure. I don't know whether I would make this into a junk journal. It's so thick. Mind you, it's no thicker than this one, but it's certainly bigger. It's longer. I don't know. I'll think about it. Whether I will do anything with it. It weighs a ton. This one I loved. I only saw the spine. It says a wildflower alphabet. So I crossed my fingers and hoped that it was illustrations rather than photos. And sure enough, it's beautiful. The artist who did these illustrations, it's very, very similar to Edith Holden's. Even right down to she did printing with pen and ink. It's not that old, 1983. But wait till I get you into some of her. She did this for her children. It's dedicated to her children and it's signed Grandma. But the artwork, she's an absolutely gifted artist. Absolutely beautiful watercolor paintings. See what I mean though? Like, I'm surprised that this almost seems a little too close for comfort for how much this looks like an Edith Holden book. But so this will get cut up. This will happily get cut up and used in forget-me-nots. Oh, I love when I find forget-me-nots. I like putting those in. It just reminds me of my mom. So these are all just beautiful, beautiful illustrations. and alphabet letters. Very talented artist. Cute. So that was an unexpected little treasure to find. Now I've been looking for one of these books for a while. I wish this one was bigger. I'd really like a big one in hardcover, but beggars can't be choosers. When you're a thrifter and you're determined to find it for repurposed, you can't beg, or you can't choose. Anyhow, I've been wanting a book just on stamps, so that I can mostly just cut it up. So, and this will be fine for cutting up. Unfortunately, because it's not hardcover, it's glued in, so I can't pull out page spreads. I'll find a way to make use of it. I wish it was bigger. But for $1, I can still use this. I'll still make good use of that. For $1. The people that work there, they've sort of grown to know what I like and what I'm looking for and why. They're wonderful there. And a gentleman came up to me who volunteers there. They're all volunteer. He says, here, you might like this. And again, this is a book for, I want the guts out of it. I'll be fussy cutting it and just cutting it up. It's the artwork of a man in 1899 named Jean-Marc Coté. I just read about this. So don't think I knew all about him. I've never heard of him. He was commissioned to paint some cards to go into cigarette packages. And in 1899, he was commissioned to do artwork of what he envisioned the year 2000 would be like. And his artwork is just beautiful. So that's why in French it says en l'an 2000. So in the year 2000. And he's just come up with what he thinks. He imagined that there would be battle cars. A motor sledge excursion to the South Pole. Look, she's just got a kerchief over her head in the South Pole. Oh boy, intensive breeding. Oh, I guess the farmers would be using intensive breeding. Dictating a letter by phonograph. Dictating by messenger. Interesting. Anyhow, the artwork is so pretty. So for some reason, look at this at school. The teacher is speaking into the microphone and the students are over here listening. Strange. How he envisioned possibly... Oh, I guess he figured divers would be riding on seahorses underwater. Oh, and look, a bus tied to a whale. So I'll be cutting this up and making good use of those illustrations. This book here, I've already got a copy of it. Again, I wouldn't use it to make into a journal, but the artwork in it, if you ever see it, grab it. The artwork in it is so beautiful. It's big and it's bold and there's no words. And I just love this book. I've almost used up my other one that I have of it. It's one of those stories that tells the story without words. So you just have to watch who's coming in and who's leaving the story. So you can see the feet here of a deer and the ear. And there's the other side of the ear that you saw on the previous page. The base of a tree. There's the other side of the base of the tree. And now you're seeing bugs and a little mouse and butterfly or a moth. And the story you just keep following through. But why I like it is these, it's stapled together. It's one signature and it's stapled together. And you can pull them out and they're just big, beautiful illustrations. And look at the room here for journaling. They really fit nicely into especially little golden books and just beautiful books. So if you ever see in the woods, grab it if it's your kind of book. I was happy to find that for $1. and have another copy ready to go for when I finally finish up this one. I got this one. I'm not sure what I'll do with it, but I love when you get an interesting cover. Our trees, how to know them. It's a little bigger than I usually do, but I really liked this cover, and I think I can do things with it, even with that staining on it. That just gives it character. 1921. So it's got some beautiful old black and white photos in it. And the pages don't seem too bad. They don't feel like they're going to crack if I try and reuse some of them. So that one, I'll figure out what I'll do with it. I love these little books of poetry. They make a really nice mini traveler's notebook. It's just so, they're easy and fun to make pretty. You can just put 2 eyelets in, you got it, put 2 eyelets in the spine, and you can reuse some of the poetry. This one's got some quite nice illustrations in it, so I'll reuse those when I make this. And line it with some pretty scrapbook paper, and those make really, really beautiful traveler's notebooks. And I thought this one, I don't think I'll make a traveler's notebook out of this one. It's big enough that, I don't know, fresh fields. I liked the cover, and I thought, well, maybe a gardening book. This one has lots of notes from the original owner. You can see all the writing there. I love when you can tell that a book was previously loved. So I as ever, I love when a book has a really interesting cover. So I'm going to enjoy that one. This one, I just want to make sort of an industrial looking Coburg Public Library. My parents used to live in Coburg. It's a beautiful town in Ontario. So this one, I don't know, I've got plans for that. There is a journal maker. I can't remember her name, and I love her style. I'm going to look up her name, and I'll put a link to her Etsy shop in my in the remarks down below, because I love her style, and I want to try and do what I can to see if I can create a journal in similar spirit to how she works, because she does a lot of books that were manuals or encyclopedia volumes, and she just really makes them look amazing. And I just thought that's a nice size. I like this unusual little plate right here. So that will become a journal as well eventually. I'm not going to show you my room, because if you saw my bookshelves here, you watch enough of my videos, you know that I've got a lot of books in here, and I really do. But I always tell myself, well, they're for the winter, for when I'm housebound in the winter. Then I'll have lots to work on, and that makes me feel better. Anyhow, I am going to get back to work now. I've done enough visiting, and I'm going to get back to work on my happy home, and I'm going to do something with you. I've got a few things here that I'm going to make stuff out of to go in. Got a snazzy looking lady there. She's going to go somewhere. And I've got some ads from those 40s magazines. I'm going to make things out of these ads for, oh, flooring. Yeah, I wanted that for the kitchen. So I found this. I'm going to make, it's got a little window in it. So I'm going to make a pocket out of that, and that'll be going in. This is from Canadian Tire. It's an advertisement for wallpaper, scrubbable vinyl wall coverings. And I swear my mother had this one in our kitchen when I was growing up. She went through an avocado green phase, and there was a lot of avocado green in the house. So I'm pretty sure I recognize that. As ever, I will be pulling out my rickrack, because we're allowed to love the things we love, and I love I love rickrack. The heart wants what it wants, right? Anyhow, I'm going to get going. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. And I'll see you soon. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.